Hey buddy, what's the answer to number 6? Oh, ah, shit. Oh boy, another Unity game. If it's anything like the other one I've seen, then I know what I'm going to be in for. And quite frankly, I think I'm a little scared right now. Thankfully, it's not. The game we're going to be playing today is a very simple game called Classroom Aquatic, where the goal of the game is to answer 10 stupidly hard questions by cheating off your dolphin classmates. Sounds simple enough, right? Well, let's see if my skills are up to the test. Get it? Test, because I'm sitting here and I'm about to take a test. Let's see what the controls are. Controls are fairly straightforward. WASD to lean in one of the directions. Your arrow keys to select your answers, enter to fill it in, Q and E to go through your test questions, and to throw one of the 6 erasers you've got on your desk, just hit space. But honestly, who brings 6 erasers to school? Anyway, moving along, the goal of this game is to ace the test by essentially, well, cheating. You can look at the other students to get the right answers. Now, they'll always be right, so you just got to make sure that they're on the same question as you are. What you can also do is throw your erasers at things around the classroom to distract the teacher, so you can cheat more efficiently. Oh, and by the way, you're timed. You've got 5 minutes to do this. So without further ado, it's time that we move straight on to the good. Now, this generally covers the parts of the games that I enjoyed or thought were very well done. So let's start with this, shall we? The questions I found were stupidly hard. Like this one, for example. How the dicks am I supposed to know what congenital disorder that this frog has? Or which Veda mentions the 8 branches of medicine? These questions are really obscure, so for the sort of person who thinks, oh, it's only 10 questions, how hard could this possibly be? You're going to be in for a surprise. And if you think, oh, they're only going to just run the same 10 questions over and over again, think again. There's a handful of other questions that aren't present in the current test that will most likely be present the next time you take it. So the game uses a different set of 10 questions. Not necessarily the same 10 that you did just before, it could be a different 10 in a completely different order. Now, the next thing I'm going to cover is that all of your classmates happen to be super intelligent dolphins. So you'll find that, being the intelligent mammals that they are, they have the right answers all the time. Now, the trick here is to always find a question that you've got in your test that's got a picture with it. Look around, see if any of your fellow dolphins happen to have the same picture in front of them, and just fill in the answer that they've selected. That way you can get rid of 2 or 3 questions fairly quickly. Which means right now for you, things are going swimmingly. Get it? Because swimming's something you do in water, and we're underwater, and oh, we've got a tough crowd tonight. I suppose I'll go into the third thing, which is the ability to throw your erasers to cause distractions. Now, you may have noticed earlier I was talking about why someone would bring 6 erasers to school. Now you know. You're going to throw those erasers in order to distract the teacher, or you can throw them at students to make the teacher get angry at them. So as you're going to witness here, I'm going to be a right tosser and, well, toss a eraser at one of the fellow students. As you could probably tell from what you've just seen, I just threw an eraser at one of my classmates. The teacher came along, got angry at the classmate, and then just wandered off. Now, you're also got to be really careful about throwing your erasers as well, because if the teacher catches you throwing one, That goes towards one of the 3 strikes that you get at successfully trying to cheat at this test. Of course, your classmates aren't the only things that you can throw the erasers at. You can throw them at other things around the room to cause a distraction, like the skeleton I've just thrown this eraser at. You didn't quite catch it? Well, let's watch that again, shall we? Of course, you probably shouldn't throw the eraser at the teacher. It just means that you'll get in trouble. So from here we move on to the next thing, which is the bad, which, as the name implies, are things I didn't like about this game. The questions, funny enough, are one of the bad things of this game. Despite the fact that you only get asked 10 of them, there's only about 15 or 16 questions. So once you've memorised the positions of all the answers, you could essentially retake the test and have it finished in about 20 seconds. Or in this case, even less than that. Another thing you can also do is exploit the camera angles, so I can essentially get all the answers I need, or at least a majority of them, by looking at the student behind me. Sure, he may notice me looking at his answers, but all I really need to do is I just need to look the other way, turn around and look back again, and he's changed to something else. Also, regardless of whether you pass or fail the test, if you wish to retake a test, you lose all of the erasers that you started off with, and any penalties you might have got on that last test stay up on the board. So it's like your own personal hell. It's like you're sitting here to sit your tests for all of eternity. The worst part of it is that you're going to be resitting the same 15 or so questions, so you already know what the answers are. Hell, students can even frame you for the stupidest things. Like, for example here, I'm told off even though I was just looking slightly to the left because the person behind me thinks I'm cheating on them. The teacher here is going to give me a penalty because I threw an eraser at the classmate in front of me. But the thing is though, the teacher probably didn't even see me do that. Didn't even walk up to me to warn me either. Just put across straight on the board. Yet here I am being a complete dickbag and throwing erasers at everybody just so I could get the teacher to notice me. So I think the teacher's line of sight is very questionable at best. But let's be fair here, you guys are probably getting sick of me ranting on and on about this, so I'm just going to move to the final part of this review, which is the ugly. Now, this section focuses on what I believe is the least important part of the game, which is the graphics. To be fair, I'm the sort of person who rather enjoys a story or the gameplay element of a game. Now, for a game in development, Classroom Aquatic actually looks pretty good. The game is going to get Oculus Rift support, so it's like you're actually going to be sitting in class soon. There are a few clipping issues, so as I'm going through my test papers, which you'll see in a minute, you'll notice that my test papers are actually going straight through the eraser. Now, that's probably just a minor thing, but it's one of those minor things that irks me, but not quite enough for me to be dissatisfied with the game or anything like that. It's probably just me being nitpicky. Now, with the dolphins, it looks like they've used the same model, but they've just given them different colouring. And this is probably just me being nitpicky again, but it's one of those things that doesn't really bother me to the point where I have to consider it a bad thing. So as a rating I'm going to give out of 10 in this game, where 1 is a spilt glass of water and 10 is the Mariana Trench, what would I say? I would probably have to say that this game would get an underground lake out of Mariana Trench. Now, if you're not particularly sure what that means, that's absolutely okay, because I have no fucking idea either. Classroom Aquatic has been part of the Too Deep For You marathon. If you or others believe that the Too Deep For You marathon has games that aren't quite deep enough for you, keep an eye out for 16 Bits Review, where he takes deep and is prepared to go even further beyond.
I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure to click that like button and subscribe for more videos in the future. And make sure to also check out buttonsmashersblog.com. They did everything you could find or want on the website. Podcasts, you name it. Maybe me and Seraph might show up in a few. As well as anime and manga reviews and impressions from their talented editors and writers. So if you love all things anime, this is the place to be. I know I sure do. As well as gaming reviews and let's plays. This is where you'll primarily find all of our content, as me and Seraph are now both editors over at buttonsmashersblog.com. So for all things Cynical Bastards, anime, manga, video games, and more, check out buttonsmashersblog.com.